All right, y'all. Ain't no half stepping. Marcus J is live. We in the building. Be down with us tonight. Man, we got a packed show tonight. And it's so much show that I ain't even got time to give y'all an intro. I'm going to just play the music. Ain't no half stepping. Marcus J is live right now. Yeah. It's about that time. It's about that time to get...
Button your lip, open your ears, strap on your thinking cap. Socially conscious talk that's entertaining with a dash of humor and the top sports stories of the week. It's time for Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J.
Sellers has Jordan. Jordan with 2 seconds to go. Puts it up and scores at the buzzer. Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago. Manning lobs it. Burris alone. Touchdown, New York.
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. He hits one deep to right center. That ball is out of here. The Yankees win the pennant.
If they lying, then they must be half stepping. Ain't no half step. Marcus J is live. We in the building. Be down with us tonight at 804-402-2893. Be down with the flagship show, heard live from the den of Legacy Internet Radio. Thank y'all for rocking with us tonight. We appreciate those folks checking in right now on TuneIn, on Streamer, on Stream Licensing. I mean, we getting all kinds of love from the folks on Stream Licensing. Shout out to my brother Solo from All Throttle Radio who's checking in. Our brother Mr. 3375 is checking in. My sister Jackie Hosky is checking in. My sister Jamequa is checking in. The Couch Coach is checking in. Y'all already checked in with us on Facebook Live, so I appreciate you guys. A lot of show to get into. Not even going to take a whole lot of time getting into the particulars. I'm just going to give you some quick teases because that's all you get tonight. Of course, we got to get into some current events. And then very, very, very special conversation that we're going to have later on with my sister cousin Terry. We're going to talk about reality TV. She and I have been battling about this for years. So we're going to have her call in later on in the show, and we're going to talk about reality TV. Then we're going to have our brother James Harris from United Black Business Group, who is going to join us. It's an outstanding organization based out of here in the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, and we are looking forward to talking to him. And then we will have a very, very special appearance by our brother Brian Evans, who will rejoin the show to talk about his nonprofit. And so he is a brother of mine. If you guys remember, he's somebody that's very personal to me. So look forward to having him rejoin the show. But joining me here in the studio, I expect to be alone today, but he always takes care of his little brother, holds me down. Y'all know him as Big Bro Joe. What up, man?
Yo, what's going on, Marcus J?
What it do, homie?
Hey, trying to dodge raindrops and snowflakes.
Man, if you can make it through to the car in a rainstorm without a raindrop touching you, you either a bad man or Jesus.
Okay, I'm gonna take the bad man because I'd have got off the.
You ain't know where I was going just now.
Yeah, I did. Just went to the left because you know me. I was gonna say I'm not getting home.
Oh my
so
goodness.
I'm coming down off the cross, but he didn't. So
yeah. Nah, you're not putting those things through my hands and feet. Nah, that joint look like it hurt. Anyway, we got a lot to get to, man.
Right.
We got a lot to get to. Here in this first segment, we're gonna do some quick hits. There are a few things that I want to make sure that we talk about because they're basically in the news cycle. So first thing I want to talk to you about, obviously we're going to do a whole lot of talking about the president because he's the gift that just keeps on giving. And, I had somebody say, man, you don't want to bore people with so much Donald Trump talk. And I'm like, we are a topical show. We have to talk about what's on the news, whether it's real or fake.
Yeah, alternative facts.
Alternative facts. We got to talk about it. And so, bruh, He accused 44 of wiretapping, man.
Yeah, I saw that.
He accused 44. Now, this is kind of, this news is a little over a week old.
Right.
He accused 44 of wiretapping him, and I think that's the craziest thing that he could do, mostly because he ain't got no proof of it.
Well, we don't know that he don't have any proof of it.
Well, he won't tell us nothing.
Right, just like he won't show us his taxes.
Yeah.
So, just like he wouldn't show us his taxes, and we know that there's something shady behind that.
The crazy piece about it is the surrogates and the people who are tasked with putting out his message oftentimes are flawed in how they go about doing it, and somehow seem to make things seem a little worse than what they are. Take a listen to this clip of the press secretary, Sean Spicer, trying to talk about wiretapping and President Trump. Take a listen. We're going to talk about it.
When should Americans trust the president? Should they trust the president? Is it phony or real when he says that President Obama was wiretapping?
Well, again, let's get back. I think there's two things that are important about what he said. I think recognizing that it's the Obama, he doesn't really think that President Obama went up and tapped his phone personally. I think, but I think there's no question that the Obama administration, that there were actions about surveillance and other activities that occurred in the 2016 election. That is a widely reported activity that occurred back then. The president used the word wiretap in quotes to mean broadly surveillance and other activities during that. And that is, again, something, it is interesting how many news outlets reported that this activity was taking place during the 2016 election cycle, and now are wondering where the proof is. It is many of the same outlets in this room that talked about the activities that were going on back then.
You just said a minute ago that, what the president meant when he tweeted about the wiretapping was, and you sort of explained it. But you've also stood at that podium and said the tweet speaks for itself. When do you decide when a president's tweets, when his words are open to interpretation, and when those words stand on their own?
I'm sorry, can you further explain what you're at? I mean, his tweets do speak for themselves.
Okay, but you just sort of interpreted it for Peter, saying, well, he didn't mean that President Obama
No,
had it. When he
that's
said
not
wiretapping,
what I said. No, actually.
You said when he meant wiretapping,
right.
He said it, he meant surveillance.
No, he literally had it in quotes.
So you're interpreting the tweet for us, it sounds like.
No, in some cases I'll ask him, what did the quotes mean? And he'll say, I did.
What did he say?
He said they were in quotes. It was referring to surveillance overall. It's something that had been referred to in other reports.
So he cited other reports in his conversation with you?
He did, yes.
So is that what he was basing that tweet on? Was
I'm not, as I just mentioned, it was a good try, but I've already been clear on that.
Ain't no hashtag on Marcus J, live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. All right, big bro. You heard it. I heard it. It sounds like he was saying that we supposed to just trust the president.
In a nutshell, that's what they said. We're just supposed to trust what a man said who said that he was going to go after Hillary Clinton and throw her in jail.
Lock her up.
Lock her up.
Did he do it?
No.
Did he say?
He said he was.
But after he got elected, he said,
nah, we're not going to worry about that.
Yeah.
Two, we're supposed to say that we believe a man who said that we're not going to pay for a wall to stop immigrants from coming in from Mexico.
Didn't he say later on that we're going to pay for it up front?
Yeah, he said that. But he said at first that we weren't going to pay
for it at all.
Yeah.
But we're going to pay for it up front, and Mexico's going to pay us back, right?
Yeah, but Mexico told him you can go straight to...
You know where?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. First of all, speaking of the wall, I almost said something inappropriate. Okay. Speaking of the wall, every time I look at the map, I see a way around that wall.
Oh, it's gaps.
It's called a boat.
Yeah.
How about you just get on a boat?
How about, you can continue to walk all the way down the line until you going to hit water. And then you can swim actually around that little gate
You
they
can
got
just
up.
walk and swim right around it.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, to get back to the wiretapping thing, though, I think that there's a couple of ways you look at that. If there was a wiretapping thing going on, and of course he just said that he doesn't think that the president actually sat in a room and listened to wiretaps. And Kellyanne Conway was on this morning, and she was talking about how she knows that there's surveillance that can be done through many means from a microwave TV. But when she was challenged about it, she retracted that, or she wouldn't say she retracted it, but I saw both interviews. She retracted it. My thing is, are we really, really that stupid as American people to fall for this? I mean, are we really the only ones that are conscious enough to say, hold up, wait a minute? Because I used to get a lot of dialogue from people who supported Donald Trump's presidency during the run-up and then the immediacy after his election. Okay. They were very vocal, and they wanted to say, give him a chance, and you just crying, and what's the word, snowflake, they was calling those of us who were unhappy with it, and all of this kind of stuff. And now, you know, they're quiet. A lot of them are quiet. You know, there's one guy, WC, and he has given me permission to call his name out, so I'll just say WC. If he's listening, he knows who he is. WC is an honest person who said that I don't support him per se because I like him, but I voted for him, and I will call him out on his BS, and he has been true to form. He has called him out on certain things. There are others who just say, just support your president and be quiet, and they'll go through great lengths to try to disparage you and to prove that the president is doing the right things. I'm not in support of the things that he's doing, and so I'm going to constantly be a voice against it.
Right. When I find something that he's doing right, I will support him then.
Like the HBCU thing. Someone put that in my face. The HBCU thing was something that he did that was far more money than Barack Obama was able to put aside.
Okay.
That was a positive thing. But then you had the president of Morehouse College who came out and said that's some bull, and he promptly got fired. It's in his contract, so you could argue that maybe he wasn't going to be back anyway. But when he spoke out against that visit to the White House over the HBCU money that they got from the president, he got fired.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. Speaking of that, something else I want to talk about, big bro. The Affordable Care Act versus...
You mean Obamacare?
Yeah. The Affordable Care Act.
You mean Obamacare?
Obamacare?
Yeah, Obamacare. Which...
The Affordable Care Act.
Is the Affordable Care Act.
It's the same thing?
No.
Stop playing.
Boy, you better quit.
It's the same thing? How come we knew that and some of these people didn't know that? Now, here's the deal. I mean, we clown, make a little fun with it, but...
Yeah.
The Affordable Care Act, of course, is what President Obama put in place for Americans to obviously get insurance. And the Republicans dubbed it Obamacare, which is their way of saying that they were unhappy.
It's a snub.
It's a snub because if they figure if they attach Obama's name to it, then automatically it would get met with negativity.
Which?
It has. And you got people who literally don't like Obamacare, but they love the Affordable Care Act. And they don't want nobody to take it from them. And one of the biggest things that the Republicans said that they were going to do was make sure that they repeal and replace it. They have, in fact, put something in place that is designed to be better than the Affordable Care Act. Let's see, it's got a name, and I'm trying to find it.
It's actually called Bits and Pieces of Obamacare.
Yeah, it's actually called the American Health Care Act is what it's called. It's supposed to reduce the federal deficit by $337 billion over the next 10 years.
Wait a minute, you said it's the what?
It's called the American Health Care Act.
Oh, instead of the
Affordable Care Act.
Affordable Care Act. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's supposed to reduce the federal deficit by $337 billion over the next 10 years. But in the next 2 years or next year, it's supposed to have 14 million less people are going to be insured. And by 2026, 52 million would be uninsured.
And I can see that because of the way that it's structured.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things in there on the way that it's structured that I totally disapprove of. First of all, they want to go by age instead of by wealth. I guess I'm gonna say wealth, because now they're saying that if the older you are, the old people that in essentiality what they're saying is only old people need health insurance, and young people you just got to fend for yourself.
Right. Right.
You better go back to Eastern medicine and start, boiling some roots and stuff like that, which I do right now because I don't like taking pills.
Right.
But, I mean, you look at that, the way that some of that is structured. It also has a piece in it where you can still stay on it with a pre-existing condition, but the insurance companies in the state that you're in are getting hit because they're taking some of the federal aid away from the states, which means the premiums are going to get jacked up.
Yeah.
Which means you're still going to end up paying more. See, people don't take the time out to read those
And
things.
pay attention.
They're even hitting the soldiers.
They're hitting the soldiers, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, education, all of those things. And it's crazy. You know, Tupac said a long time ago, you got money for war but can't feed the poor. You know, it's crazy when you think about it because, you know, the people who are screaming the loudest are going to be the ones that are most affected, you know, and it's unfortunate because I remember, you know, and when we say this, it always seems like I'm taking a shot. I'm really not. I remember when we were in the original place that we used to do the show, the place we used to be in, back when you were still living in Charlotte, and you would come in and kind of help us out when you could. And Big Rube did the survey. And in that survey, we always joke about that survey, but one of the important pieces that came out of it is the less educated people are the ones that are voting Republican.
Yeah.
You know, it's unfortunate if you look from state to state, the least educated states are the states that are voting Republican. So what does that really mean? To me, that basically means that these are the same people who continue to vote against their interests because they're afraid that black and brown and poor people are going to steal from them. I'll let you in on a little secret. For all of you guys who thought that Obama was going to come and steal your guns, more people got guns during that 8 years than in any time frame before that. He wasn't coming to get your guns. You still got them, don't you?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so when you look at the demographics, it's usually those people who are less educated. And I'm not saying that these people are dumb people, not smart people. This is based upon education.
Right.
You know, the least educated people, because these are also, in theory, people who could be easier swayed.
Well, yeah, you know what? I'm going to say that, and I'm going to just use the polls from Virginia. Virginia actually didn't carry Trump.
No. That was Hillary Clinton.
That was Hillary.
Hillary Clinton.
Because of the people who actually probably got out and voted more on the side were in the higher education bracket because they have more dividends and funds that they actually use in supporting themselves in the Fairfax area, in the Vienna area, up near Northern Virginia. That dynamic of folks, that little itty bitty dynamic of folks, took care of Virginia.
Yeah.
But you go to some other places like Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
Well, they didn't have enough of those kinds of people to carry because Donald Trump won Pennsylvania.
He won Pennsylvania. I mean, you still got a lot of really, really deep rural areas.
Yeah.
Not saying that we don't hear.
Right.
But, I mean, I've gone through Pennsylvania, stayed up there a little bit, you know, and even Pittsburgh. People think that Pittsburgh is a big booming town. No.
It's just, you know, it's historical stuff here. First of all, let me get some love in from the folks checking us out on Facebook Live. Shout out to our sister Shayna Latia, who is checking in and saying peace to us. Our brother WB from Twi After Dark is checking in, and our brother Tavon from I Got Something to Say. What's happening, people? He's checking us out. He said it's a bunch of BS because healthcare should be free for all citizens. So,
and Couch Coach is checking
in.
Couch Coach checked in too.
What's happening, brother? Couch Coach Live is going to be debuting here on Legacy Internet Radio in April, so make sure you stay tuned to that sports show. We're bringing it back to the den here at Legacy Internet Radio. You know, historically, you know, the people, the descendants of the people who are voting Republican basically are the same people who, the poor people. The poor people. Because if you look at the Republican Party, you basically have rich white people and poor white people.
Real poor people.
And real poor white people. And so for a long time, I tried to figure out why that is, you know, and, you know, people got mad at me when I explained why I thought that was. Rich white people, poor white people. And it goes all the way back to a certain kind of mentality. Now, we know that the vote switch, you know, in the 50s and 60s from Republican, you know, to Democrat as far as minorities. But the people who are voting Republican now are the descendants of the Dixiecrats.
Yep.
These are the Dixiecrats, and this is something that can be looked up. But the poor white people and the rich white people are basically voting Republican. Why is that? Because you had a lot of poor white people who aspired to be those rich white people. And those rich white people convinced those poor white people that those black and brown people was going to take the little bit that you already got. So what did you do? You were very, very possessive of what little you had. This is the reason why you will find that rich white people are almost never outwardly racist towards people of color, because they don't have to be. You can't affect their life, so they don't care about what you do. You can get your nice house, you can get your nice car. They can buy that joint over 50 times over. They ain't thinking about you. Koch brothers, they ain't thinking about no black people. You kidding me? They ain't thinking about you, you know? But that congressman might. You know why? Because he ain't rich.
No.
Not on that level, you know, and it's a mentality. I saw a video that said, is everybody racist? Or is everybody, you know, bigoted? And I think a lot of us have a mentality that we're raised with that makes us think a certain kind of way. And if you're raised up to think that you're superior based upon certain attributes that you may have, that's going to come out in your behavior.
Well, I have to ask you a question then, Marcus J. I mean, those two words are totally on opposite ends of the spectrum.
Which two?
Bigoted and racist.
Actually, no.
You don't think so?
No, because I think the word racist is misused.
Okay, then that's what I'm thinking. But I mean, still.
Well, a racist, and this is something else that I had to explain, you know, to folks that I blog with, and they may disagree, and they're certainly welcome to do that. But a racist person is someone that can affect your life.
Exactly.
You know, a cop might be a racist. A judge might be a racist. You know, but that asshole neighbor down the street, he's just a bigot. He can't affect your life.
Which is two different types of people.
Which is two different types of people.
Yeah.
Two different types of people. But a racist is a bigot.
But a bigot doesn't have to be a
doesn't
racist.
Have to, they may not be able to, because there has to be a level of power that comes with being a racist and racism.
I mean, you know, we spoke on this time and time again, because we sit there and said that and I agreed with you. I finally got the knowledge that I felt. I don't agree that number 45 is necessarily a racist.
I don't necessarily agree with that. He would go into that class of uber rich who you can't affect his life. He ain't thinking about you.
Right, but since he's not thinking about us, does he really care?
No, he doesn't. And that was never part of what my rhetoric was. It doesn't matter if you care or not.
Oh, okay.
It's just he ain't thinking about you. That's the reason why he can condemn the Central Park Five. That's why he can condemn them, because they ain't affecting his life. He just saw a bunch of black kids who was connected to this, you know, this tragedy to this woman in Central Park. And since they was connected, they must be guilty. So even when they were found to not be, he still was like, well, they still must be guilty. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's how I feel about that. Ain't no half step on Marcus J. Live from the Dan Legacy Internet Radio. Did you hear about the president saying that the job numbers that came out on Friday was not real? Was real, but last year when it was President Obama, and all the subsequent months, it was fake before.
It was fake before. It was alternative facts.
It was alternative facts before, but it's real now.
But
76 months in a row we've had growth, and there were 4 months last year that was more than what we just got on Friday.
Yeah.
So I want to
thinking it's him.
I don't know how you would think that.
Well, just like he sit there and thought it was a wiretap.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that it's outrageous what we deal with, and you know, we can go case by case by case. It's kind of what we're almost doing, case by case by case here, where we're showing that the president is erratic. Like, you don't know what you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? Like, how is it that last year, and they got film of him, and I'm sure it don't matter to him. They got him on tape saying last year. He don't care about that. But even his press secretary, Sean Spicer, who is just
dude.
He's something else.
He's speaking with forked tongue.
He said, quote, I talked to the president prior to this, and he said, to quote him very clearly, they may have been phony in the past, but it's very real now. End quote.
What's the difference?
the fact that he's the president is really the only difference that I see. I mean, the Labor Department, when they put these numbers out, these same people. They're the same people.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden it's real when before it was fake. I mean, it's crazy. It's, too easy.
Too easy.
Too easy. All right.
Yeah.
A couple more quick hits that I want to get to before we get out of the segment. This one really kind of got me. I saw this one this morning. And and it's about a congressman. And I'm trying to find it here. Yeah, here we go. Congressman Steve King of Iowa. He's a prominent Iowa Republican and a vocal advocate against illegal immigration. He tweeted on Sunday, quote, "We can't restore our civilization with somebody else's babies," end quote. That's what he said. We can't restore our civilization with someone else's babies. Now, this morning, I happened to be watching CNN. I'm reading this article. I'm getting this from myfox8.com. But I was watching this morning. I saw this when he was asked by CNN's Chris Cuomo on New Day to clarify his comments. And King said, quote, he meant exactly what he said. You cannot rebuild your civilization with someone else's babies. You got to keep your birth rate up, and that you teach to your children your values. This is what he said, paraphrasing the remarks that he had delivered to an audience in Europe, because he was kind of.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you said that, because that sounds like some Hitler stuff to me.
Well, he was supporting the Dutch far right candidate Geert Wilders, who is running for office there. He was supporting that guy when he made those comments. Quote, "You go down the road a few generations, maybe centuries, with intermarriage. I'd like to see America that's just as homogeneous, that we look a lot the same." End quote.
Don't that sound like that blonde hair, blue eyed thing to you?
It sounds a whole lot like the stuff that Hitler was saying. And I wanted to make sure, because I don't normally watch a lot of CNN, but I had heard those comments. And so I wanted to make sure that because I heard that he was going to be on.
Okay.
So I'm like, dude, you got to explain this. You got some splaining to do here, bro.
But how can you fix your mouth? Okay. All right. You can see Big Bro Joe. I'm getting a little warm under my collar because.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Good. You want to get your.
Let me get these comments in. Our sister Laurel is checking in on Facebook Live. Laurel says, the most shocking people that are conservative are middle-class Jewish people. Always shocks me. And yes, I have wealthy Jewish friends that are conservative. That has more to do with them having money. I can dig it. My sister cousin Terry is checking us out on Facebook Live. Shout out to you. We're going to talk to you in a few minutes. So, quote, she said, the bigot saw 4 black kids. The racist said convict him. She's talking about Donald Trump. Right. The comments on him. Couch Coach is still checking us out. He's saying thanks to us. He is appreciating the love. Lil Sis Kim is checking us out right now. Our sister Jackie Hosky is checking us out right now as well. So shout out to them. Go ahead, Joe. Make your point, bro.
So, and one more. Our sister Tracy Hardy Scott is checking us out too.
What's going on, Ross Silk?
Yeah. But I'm just getting back to the whole thing, because when you make those type of statements to me, I still have to go back to how the American Indians felt with somebody invading their homes, taking over their lands, and now putting them, and back then putting them on reservations, cutting them off from what was theirs. And he has the audacity and the gall to sit there and say that you need to keep, and help me out. I get the stuttering because I got nervous there for a second.
Basically, what he's saying is,
how can you can't rebuild?
How you gonna rebuild your country with someone else's babies? You cannot rebuild your civilization with someone else's.
It's not
babies.
his civilization.
To him, it is.
Well, like I said,
that's his
if
point.
He needs to go back and get his. But I'm saying that's a bad point. He needs to go back and check out. You forget you were a raider, you were a pirate.
Wow.
Yes.
I mean, that's real talk. I just never heard it said that way, but that's real shit right there.
I ain't half-stepping. Hey, this is how it is.
Yeah.
You were a pirate.
Yeah.
You came over and you took over from somebody else. You stole, pillaged.
You would think, no, you wouldn't. I almost said something asinine. I was getting ready to say, you would think these people would know, but no, you won't, because I don't necessarily want to go there, but the biggest immigrant came here in 1492.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And
lied.
Yeah. I mean, but that, I guess you could go all the way back to there, but the reality is when you're trying to debate and make an argument, a rational one to people who are irrational, then you got to figure out another way to make your point, or else it's going to be, you're going to beat your head against the wall. And it's not, you can't give them the Christopher Columbus reference and say, all y'all immigrants, all us are immigrants if you listen to Ben Carson. We're all immigrants.
We not going to talk about that,
we're all immigrants. Even those of us who came in the bottom of slave ships, we're all immigrants.
That's another one you got to hit on. You going to get on that one?
Well, we here now. We here now. What do you think?
Uncle Ben, and I ain't talking about the rights. Uncle Ben lost his goddamn
Ben, now you got a lot of folks that are comparing the comments that he made to some similar comments that Barack Obama made, a year or two ago. I don't have President Obama's comments in front of me, but I have seen them, and I think it's a stretch. But if you want to connect the comments together, I will say this: President Obama, say what you want about him, has shown to be a compassionate man, an intellectual man who cares about people, whether you feel like he was a good president or not, whether you feel like he did enough for black people or not. That ain't what I'm talking about right now. What I'm talking about now is he has displayed the same level of common sense as he has intelligence. Ben Carson, on the other hand, is a brilliant neurosurgeon who seems to lack a level of common sense and will sometimes say things. And I'll be honest with you, Facebook Live, y'all can see me. I'm doing my greatest Ben Carson impersonation. I feel excuse me, I just fell asleep right quick. I mean the dude, really.
How can you sit there and say that we were immigrants?
How you gonna be opening up somebody's chest and you can't even freaking look like you excited? Dude, you in my heart right now. I'm gonna die if you fall asleep. What are you doing? Come on.
But you know what? A lot of our society and help me out. Callers, if you got something you think about this, give us a call to 804-402-2893.
Dee Dee just laughed her ass off, but we don't know what the hell she laughing about. You want to tell us what you Ellen?
She one of them people, though. She from the burbs.
Yeah, what you laughing at, Dee Dee? Our sister Dee Dee, who we love, who Joe and I pick on relentlessly, only because we love her. But what you laughing at, man?
She been causing cousin. Oh, that's what it is.
That's what it is.
She from the burbs.
Yeah.
But those and that's that group of people who got on that's like the house slave that was master's boy.
Yeah.
The one who got him dressed and fitted his clothes and gave him a bath and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he would always say, "We got a good house, boss."
Yeah, we do. And the master gets sick. We sick, boss.
We sick, boss.
Yeah.
That's what Ben Carson. He's stepping fetching all day long.
Ben Carson, also the same dude who's the head of HUD now, which we know is Housing and Urban Development, who said that, when he was coming up, they never took nothing from the government. But he also said they was on welfare.
Which is
taking something from the government. Yeah. So I'm not sure which one it is. But the last thing I want to get to, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. This one pissed me off.
Uh-oh.
This one pissed me off. Did you hear about Muhammad Ali Jr.?
Getting detained?
Which time?
Oh, yeah. Well, I just heard about
which time? Twice.
2
times. Oh. First time coming from Montego Bay. That's the first time.
How you going to get stopped coming from Montego Bay?
He's coming out of he's coming back into the country with his mama.
He was with his mama?
He was with his mother coming back into the country from Jamaica. This is the first time. Okay. This was last month. And they get detained. And, they detain him for a couple hours. And it was a big mess. It was inconvenient. I don't even remember if we talked about it on the show. I don't think we did. But he's in New York. He's in D.C. to talk about it.
Because detained again.
And on his way out of D.C., he gets detained again. Come on, man.
That's because he pissed somebody off. That's what that was. We know what that was.
That's what happens when you
Hold on. You just jump on the mic. Ain't nobody said who you is and
jumped
stuff.
Jumped up on the mic.
Damn, you just
got excited because she had something to say.
I got something to say.
Well, what you got to say? Tell us who you is first.
Hey, this is Neek, your girl from Round the Way.
Damn, some folks just Debo in the mic.
You know what? Hey.
What you got to say, man?
Well, that's what happens when you have an expired license or you don't have the correct credentials with you to say who you are.
Really?
So I don't care if you are Muhammad Ali Jr. or Boo Boo the Fool. You're going to get detained.
What about the first time when he had his passport?
It was expired.
His passport wasn't.
No, his documentation was expired. They had to make a phone call to a family member to verify who he was.
How did he get out of the country to get into Jamaica? Because you had to go through.
He was expired. His license was expired.
His license.
In the D.C. incident, not in the Jamaica incident.
The first incident, they had to call somebody to verify who he was.
But the thing is, how did he get out of the country with expired
You
paperwork?
can get out of the country. You can't get back in. Trust me when I tell you.
Okay, if you know something
But if
I
your
don't know.
passport is expired when you go to the other country, they normally will deny you access to their country.
Right.
So
if he had his birth certificate.
no, you can't use birth certificate with Jamaica.
Right.
You must know something I don't know, because that's not the way that I know the story. The way I know the story was, well, first of all, the deal is his name is Muhammad Ali Jr.
Right.
With his mama.
He gets profiled because one, his name, and two, it's an Islamic sounding name.
But any idiot who doesn't know who Muhammad Ali is.
Well, you know who Muhammad Ali is.
Have you seen TSA lately?
Have you know you
wait, you know that's a bad
that's
thing.
a bad question to
Don't
ask him. But honestly, looking at this man, he don't look like his daddy.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
He doesn't resemble him at all.
I mean, he kind of talks like him a little bit. And when you listen to the speech, it's very, very similar. It sounds like his daddy, but he doesn't look like him. You
Not
know.
at all.
Now, if you say that his paperwork was wrong, I'll trust you on that. My understanding was that coming out of Jamaica, he was good. He had everything he was supposed to have, and they was fooling with him. That's my understanding of the story. You know, I've seen him in multiple interviews, and I've never heard that piece of information come out, but I'll trust you if you say that's what it was. Having said that, though, if you're there with someone that can vouch for you, why we got to make a phone call? He's traveling with his mother.
I understand that, though.
He's traveling with his mother, so who you calling?
I understand. Well, first of all, you call.
Who you calling?
You have to call. It's government. It's a government agency that you actually have to call and verify all of that stuff. So you know that they have your picture. As soon as they take your picture for your passport, it uploads into one of the federal databases.
Right.
Hence TSA, and then it goes back through. You can actually. It comes up on ICE, which is immigration customs.
So Dee was laughing at my Ben Carson impersonation. That's actually what she's laughing at. And she says, "Shut up, Joe."
Yeah, I know.
Terry is giving you, cousin Terry's giving you a shout out, Nick, and she's saying, "Good point. Keep up your credentials." So she's saying, "Shout out to you." She's not confirming if that's accurate, but she's saying that you should be keeping up with your credentials. She's also
Terry.
saying name profiling Muhammad Ali Jr. So. I honestly, like I said, I didn't know that piece. If that's part of the narrative that I missed, then I'll certainly stand corrected on it. But having said that, the same person? Really?
Well, you know what? I can tell you something else. If you are subject to going out of the country, and if you come back wrong, you're hot. You're hot listed.
No, but one of them was international, and the first one was international, and the first one was domestic.
Doesn't make a difference. You go into the United States Capitol. And you on a hot list.
I can dig it.
I mean, I'm just saying, it might sound quirky to us.
Well, you're not speaking what you think. You're speaking what you know, and I give you. And I give you. But you know, Terry says we know our Ali. We can't be mad that they don't know him. I make the point. We made the point a few minutes ago. He don't look like his daddy.
Okay.
That just happened to be his name. You know what I mean? So I think that he was profiled as a black man with a Muslim name. That's what I think.
You know what? I'd probably be profiled too, because my daddy gave aliases.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I just think that the irony of the same person being profiled 2 times within the same month, a high profile person,
Sounds suspicious.
doesn't sound right to me. They just don't sound right to me. Ain't no how Stephen with Marcus J. Live from the Den. Legacy Internet Radio. We are going to go to break with a special video that I want to share. I think many of us have heard the name James Baldwin. I often quote him on this show. And when I quote him, the quote that I often use is, "To be a Negro in this country is to live in a perpetual state of rage." I'm paraphrasing, but that's some real stuff. This is I Am Not Your Negro, which is a documentary that is being produced in the present time based upon words that he had written in his lifetime. We know we lost a brother in the 80s, but it's very powerful, and he's got a lot of prominent black actors and activists who are utilizing his words to make the point. So we're going to go to break with this, and when we come back, she's been blogging with us the whole night, but damn it, we're going to get her to call in. My cousin Terry, my sister Cuz, will join me and us on a live line to talk about reality TV. And then later on, we've got our brother James Harris from the United Black Business Group. And then, of course, ending the show with our brother Brian Evans, our motivational speaker. We got so much show that we're going to give to you, and we're going to give it to you in its entirety. We got a long show, great show. Stay with us. The flagship show of Legacy Internet Radio is called Ain't No High Step with Marcus J. I got my brother Big Bro Joe, and I got my sister Nick live here in studio with me. We'll be back in a few, y'all. Stay with us.
I am not your Negro.
I am not your bitch. I am not your receptacle. I am not your servant.
I am not your thug.
Janelle Monáe, Samuel L. Jackson, Chris Rock, and other celebrities want you to hear this.
I am your equal.
I am not your ground to walk on. I am not your hoard.
I am not your property. I am not your prize.
I am not your boy. I am not your thug.
I'm not your noble savage. I'm not your exotic fantasy.
I am not your the blacks.
I am not your moving target. I am not your stereotypical black girl.
I am not your mule. I am not your gender binary.
Baldwin was pioneering writer and intellectual. Oscar-nominated 2016 documentary I Am Not Your Negro uses his words to confront race in modern America.
The future of the Negro in this country is precisely as bright or as dark as the future of the country. Because I'm not a nigger. I'm a man.
I am who I choose to be. I am who I will be.
I am a son. I am a brother. I am a chief.
I am a wife. I am a revolutionary.
I am a father. I am a son.
I am an artist. I am an artist.
I am an ally.
I'm a friend. I'm a student. I'm a mentor.
I am a human being.
These artists and activists are echoing the past to contextualize the present. And Baldwin's message is more relevant than ever.
We can disagree and still love each other.
And still love each other.
Unless your disagreement is rooted in my oppression.
And denial of my humanity and my right to exist.
Not everything that is faced can be changed.
Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced.
Nothing can be changed until it is faced.
Until it is faced.
This year, I Am Not Your Negro director Raoul Peck will work with organizations like the Ford Foundation and Emerson Collective to build a national initiative to get Baldwin's work into school curricula.
Study your Baldwin.
Read James Baldwin. Read James Baldwin.
Read James Baldwin.
Know your Baldwin.
Know your Baldwin.
Is my mic on? Oh, okay. Legacy Internet Radio. It's your girl, the First Lady, comedianess, Lissa P. Ow, ow! Make sure you're tuned in to the #1 internet radio station around, Legacy Internet Radio. Be sure to check out our website at www.legacyinternetradio.com, or you can download the free TuneIn app. Go to the search, type in Legacy Internet Radio, and there you'll have us. Legacy Internet Radio, where independence is the key to building your legacy. Ow, ow!
Tired of wearing that same old raggedy t-shirt to group events, civic, and work situations? Then why don't you check out our folks, Live Action Captions. They offer t-shirt services here in the Richmond and Tri-City area, offering multicolored, direct-to-garment printing at an affordable price. Guess what? No charge for changing colors for a design either. Pick and choose whatever you want out of the rainbow. No minimums at all. Discounts at 25 or more. If you'd like to rock one of these hot shirts that we here at Legacy Internet Radio do, then you can get with live action captions at 804-640-7180. Again, that's 804-640-7180. And for all the folks who don't like to use the telly, we got it on the internet at live-action-captions at comcast.net. Again, live-action-captions at comcast.net, and at that same title on Facebook and Instagram. No need to worry about it shrinking. We got you covered. Live action captions.